Maze Runner. The Death Cure, released in 2018, was promoted and distributed as a final installment of the film series. However, the current situation shows a notable change. After Disney's acquisition of 21st Century Fox, the company confirmed in 2019 that new Maze Runner films were in development. By May 2024, there was official news that a reboot of the series was underway. Today, let's join 1991 Review to analyze what we can expect from this fourth movie. But first, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Alright, let's take a look back at the previous films to get an overview. General overview. The Maze Runner film series is an action-packed, sci-fi, post-apocalyptic franchise based on the novels of the same name by author James Dashner. The series includes 3 parts. The Maze Runner, 2014. Maze Runner. The Scorch Trials, 2015. Maze Runner. The Death Cure, 2018. The films belong to the young adult dystopian genre, which was very popular in the 2010s with other famous series like The Hunger Games and Divergent. Detailed analysis. 1. The Maze Runner, 2014. Strengths. An intriguing and mysterious beginning. The film successfully creates a tense and curious atmosphere from the very first minutes. The audience, along with the main character Thomas, is thrown into an unfamiliar situation without memories, having to discover the glade and the maze simultaneously. Fast-paced and dramatic. The plot moves quickly, from Thomas discovering the community's rules to him breaking them. The action scenes in the maze with the grievers are well staged and create a sense of suspense. Impressive performance in the young cast. Although they were young actors, Dylan O'Brien as Thomas Brody Sangster, Newt, and Kaya Scodelario, Teresa, played their roles quite well, especially Dylan O'Brien, who successfully built a naturally courageous, determined leader, a unique world. The idea of a group of teenagers trapped in a gigantic maze, forced to create their own society and face deadly threats, is a major highlight. Weaknesses. The ending has many plot holes. The end of the film, when WCKD, the organization that created the maze, is revealed, leaves many unanswered questions, giving the feeling that this is just a part of a bigger story. This makes the film feel incomplete when viewed on its own. Familiar plot elements. Despite some unique elements, the break the system and fight the villains storyline still has the feel of many other films in the same genre. 2. Maze Runner. The Scorch Trials, 2015. Strengths. Expanded world building. The film took the story out of the maze, introducing a much larger and more unforgiving post-apocalyptic world called the Scorch. This brought a fresh perspective and made viewers curious about the wider context. Relentless action. The film features many action scenes, chases, and battles with infected creatures, cranks, and other factions. The pace is fast and continuous. Character development. The characters face difficult choices about trust and survival, which helps develop their psychological depth. The relationship between Tom and his friends is also tested. Weaknesses. Disjointed and unfocused plot. Once they left the maze, the story became rambling and less focused. The characters moved from one place to another without a clear goal other than survival, which made some viewers feel exhausted. Lacked the initial mystery. The mystery and tension of the first part were significantly reduced. Scorch Trials feels more like a typical survival adventure film than a dystopian story with depth. Teresa's controversial betrayal. Teresa's change in character in this part disappointed many book fans and felt illogical, even though it was built into film to serve WCKD's purpose. 3. Maze Runner. The Death Cure, 2018. Strengths. Top-tier action. This is probably the part with the most large-scale and spectacular action scenes. The assault on the WCKD city, the vehicle chases, and the final battle are all well-staged and visually impressive. A conclusive ending. The film resolves most of the remaining questions and provides a logical conclusion to the journey of Thomas and his friends. It brings a sense of satisfaction as the story is completed. Sacrifice and emotion. This part emphasizes sacrifice, friendship, and loyalty. The deaths of some characters created strong emotions for the audience. Weaknesses. Simplified plot. To focus on the action, some complex details of the novel were omitted or simplified, making the plot more predictable and less deep than the original source material. Incomplete character development. Despite some emotional moments, some characters still didn't have enough screen time to be fully developed. For example, the relationship between Thomas and Teresa could have been more profound. Unclear message. The message about ethics and science, or choosing the majority over the individual, is presented but not fully explored, making the film lean more towards entertainment and philosophical depth. Main themes and meaning. Survival instinct and friendship. This is the most prominent theme throughout all 3 parts. The characters face dangerous situations and can only survive through cooperation, trust, and friendship. Loss and memory. Memory is a key factor that determines the nature and motivation of characters. The loss of memory forces them to rediscover their identities, while regaining memories brings painful truths. Rebellion and freedom. The series is a story about young people fighting against a totalitarian organization, WCKD, to reclaim their freedom and control over their lives. Ethics in science. The film raises questions about the ethical boundaries of science. Is it right to sacrifice a few people to find a cure for all humanity? Overall review. Overall, the Maze Runner film series is a successful entertainment franchise, especially in the context of the booming young adult dystopian genre. The films have a fast pace, spectacular action scenes, and an engaging plot. However, they suffer from some common weaknesses of the genre, namely a focus on action over character and plot depth. Part 1 is the most highly rated part, thanks to its mystery, tension, and unique atmosphere. Part 2 expands the world but loses its focus. Part 3 is a spectacular and conclusive ending, but it may not have enough depth for fans of the novels. Nonetheless, Maze Runner remains a worthwhile choice for anyone who loves the action and sci-fi genres and wants to follow a dramatic story about the instinct to survive and teamwork. What do you think about the previous movies? Feel free to leave a personal opinion in the comments section. What can we expect from Part 4? Let's join 1991 Review to find out. Here's what we can expect from Maze Runner 4, based on the information available. 1. It's not a direct sequel. Reliable sources have confirmed that the new film will not be a direct sequel to The Death Cure. This means the story will not continue from where Thomas and the remaining survivors find a safe island. It is also not a complete remake of the first film. 2. A reboot that's also a continuation. The film is described as a kind of continuation of the original story, but will also return the elements that made the first film connect with audiences. This could mean the movie will be set in the same universe, but might focus on an entirely new group of characters, or explore another aspect of WCKD's world and the flare pandemic. 3. Director and producer. The good news is that the director of the original series, Wes Ball, will return as producer. This promises that the style and spirit of the original series will be maintained. Screenwriter Jack Paglin, who wrote the screenplay for Transcendence, has been hired to write the script for the new film. 4. The original cast is likely not returning. Since this is a reboot and not a sequel, it is highly likely that the original cast, such as Dylan O'Brien, Thomas Brody Sangster, Newt, and Kaya Scodelario, Teresa, will not appear. The film will be looking for a new cast to tell a new story. 5. Possible plot. There are 2 prequel novels to the original series, The Kill Order and The Fever Code. The Kill Order tells the story of the beginning of the flare pandemic and the collapse of the world, before the maze was created. The Fever Code tells the story of how WCKD gathered the main characters and how they were placed in the maze. It's highly probable that the new film will explore one of these 2 storylines or combine elements from them. Exploring the beginning of the WCKD world will be a fascinating way to continue the story without directly picking up from the end of Death Cure. In summary, what can we expect? A new film in the Maze Runner universe. Not a sequel with Thomas and his friends. A plot that may focus on the beginning of the pandemic and the WCKD organization. An entirely new cast. While there's no official release date yet, the fact that the project has been rebooted shows that fans will have a chance to return to this world in the near future. It's a movie worth looking forward to, isn't it? This video is over. Thank you for watching and chatting with 1991 Review. If you love the content I create, please give me a like and subscribe to support me.